Listen, Zach, carolers.
Huh, cool. But this is way cooler.
This season, gift Samsung Galaxy Buds 2 Pro and surround the ones you love with the sounds they love with studio quality sound and intelligent active noise cancellation. Pair it with Galaxy S23 Ultra and power their listening experience with an epic smartphone. Shop these and more great gifts now at Samsung.com.
Deck your halls and your guest room with new custom window treatments up to 50% off site-wide today at Blinds.com Cyber Monday sale. Blinds.com's the better way to do Cyber Monday. 100% online with upfront pricing. No more pushy salespeople. And no matter how many premium blinds, shades, or shutters you choose, installation is one low cost. Shop Blinds.com Cyber Monday sale happening now. Save up to 50% site-wide plus doorbusters. Up to 50% off at Blinds.com. Rules and restrictions may apply.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Pretty Lies and Alibis. I'm Gigi. Fruit Loop is not able to be here tonight, unfortunately. She had something going on and just couldn't get away. So I wanted to hop on real quick and update about what's happened today. First off, big thank you to our sponsor, Too Cool. I always point in the wrong direction. Too Cool T-shirt quilts. You can see some of their work here. That's our logo. And go Tiger, Clemson Tigers. There we go. So if you guys want a t-shirt, quilt, blanket, they do memorial pillows, all kinds of stuff, go to www.toocooltshirtquilts.com/prettyliesandalibis, and she will know we sent you. We want to give a big thank you to Karen and Kelly for the PayPal donations. And real quick, we had a comment today on YouTube where somebody had said that they wished we had backstories to the cases we cover. If we're doing any story, we have a back episode for that. You can go through our episode list and it should be there at some point. We always try to research things before we talk about them because it helps us, it helps you. And there you go. We want to acknowledge that today has been 2 years since JJ Vallow was murdered. And feels like 5 years since we've been covering this case, but we always think of JJ and Tylee and the family members, but especially today. And his teachers, he was a special needs student at that really great school there in Arizona. And these deaths have affected so many people, just people that knew and loved these kids. And so it's always a somber day when it's an anniversary. So we're thinking about Kay and Larry and Kresha and Colby and Kelsey and everybody who knew and loved JJ. So this is really funny, guys. Of course, breaking news is going to happen when I have my 3 kids at the dentist. I've covered this case for almost 2 weeks now. And my kids had a late dentist appointment today after school. And I'm sitting in the chair and my phone blows up. There's an arrest warrant issued for Brian finally. So I thought, all right, maybe they've got enough for murder. Not yet. Here's the thing. Tomorrow I'm taking my oldest daughter apple picking, and they'll find him when I'm in the middle of those Granny Smith trees. Wait for it. So what happened today? Well, there's an arrest warrant for Brian. A federal arrest warrant was issued today, and it says that on August 30th through September the 1st, Brian used a debit card and a PIN to access 2 different bank accounts. It didn't say that it was Gabby's, but put 2 and 2 together. It was used in Wyoming and elsewhere. So it reads, the defendant, Brian Christopher Laundrie, knowingly and with intent to defraud, used 1 or more unauthorized access devices, namely a Capital One debit card, and it gives the last 4 digits of the 2 different accounts. And by such obtained things of value aggregating to $1,000 or more during that period, which affected interstate commerce. And that just means across state lines, he purchased things. Now, here's my question. Did he buy a bunch of stuff on the way back to Florida, knowing that eventually he would be on the run? Because if you think about it, gas and food to get from Wyoming to Florida, there's no way it's $1,000. So, and the other thing I was wondering, did he drop off any supplies somewhere before he came home? It's just a lot of stuff's up in the air. His parents, interestingly enough, today were seen leaving the house this morning in the red truck, and then they came back and had the Mustang. So they got that back. And I was wondering, why would they take that Mustang? And the only thing I can guess is maybe they were downloading the GPS from that little black box that these newer cars have, it's going to tell them where that Mustang went the day that he supposedly left the home. So I'm interested to see when all this stuff comes out. It's going to be a big deal. Then they were seen leaving again, and it kind of got around with some local reporters that they were gone to Orlando. Well, we find out now that they were meeting with their attorney, whose name is Stephen Bertolino. I'm curious if this is Brian's lawyer, though. I mean, he's in a world of trouble. Is this just the parents' lawyer? Are they going to let him get a public defender? We don't know. So a lot of people have asked, why not murder charges? I think it's a lot of reasons. They could be waiting on final autopsy results. And if you remember, if you follow the Lori Daybell and Lori Vallow and Chad Daybell case, they were arrested initially for other charges that related to the murders in a way. It was destroying and altering evidence and that sort of thing. Lori initially was arrested for desertion of the kids, and they were in custody for over a year before either one of them had murder charges filed against them. So I think they have to do it the right way. There's a lot of reasons why they're not rushing this, because once they bring murder charges against Brian, which I do believe they will, he has a right to have a speedy trial. And the law says within 70 days of arraignment, he could very much be in a courtroom. And so I don't think there's a huge rush to get the murder charges, because I don't see him getting bond on this, even though these are kind of low-level felonies from what I've been told. I mean, the dude's clearly a flight risk. Look where we are right now. I don't think they're going to find him after all this, if they do find him, and then let him go. So even with an ankle monitor, I think they'll hold him. The other thing I was thinking about today is we don't know how far off the grid he is. If he's in that swamp, which I kind of think there's good reason to think he is, just based on the manpower they've put there. Who knows? But he may not even know they found her body. I would think at this point he knows they're looking for him, because there's been choppers overhead pretty much all week. So I don't think the FBI is putting a lot of stuff out right now because they don't know if he's watching. They don't want to tip him off to anything. I just think that at this point, if he truly went in there with the backpack like his parents said, which I don't know how much we can trust them, he's going to be running out of stuff. Now, you can get those little straws that you can buy at camping stores. You can stick it in a mud puddle and drink purified water. So he may have something like that gives him access to water. You can only live off plants and berries for so long. He's going to get weak. Maybe that'll help law enforcement flush him out. But at the same time, the Northport Police Department today said that the search status for tomorrow is to be determined. So who knows what they're thinking? I just kind of thought maybe they have something. They have these trail cams in there in the reserve. Did they catch him on that? Because I think it was Wednesday, they switched the area that they were searching. They went to the Venice, Florida side of this reserve. And I thought maybe they found something that indicates he's there. We do know on his Instagram, he has a picture of himself with his nephew, and he's tagged. The location that he tagged was on that Venice side. So who knows? I kind of think he's alive, to be honest with you. I mean, typically narcissists don't kill themselves when they're on the run like this. They always think that they're going to wiggle out of stuff, but we shall see. So there was a new 911 call that came out yesterday. And this was a second witness who called in about seeing Brian and Gabby having their altercation. And it was very different than the written report that was given to police that they used in determining who was the aggressor, which, as you know, they determined Gabby was the aggressor based on the witness statement, Brian's statement, and Gabby's statement, which I'm sure he told her when those blue lights came on, you better not talk. And I watched that footage again last night. And when she is talking to the officer, he is staring her down. And then a couple of times, as you know, he says, well, I hope she has good things to say about me. At one point, he says, have you already talked to her? And kind of in a questioning way. Man. So this witness saw Brian hitting and slapping Gabby. And the thing is, this call was not mentioned in the police report. That's a big deal. The officer on scene said that both an independent witness and probably the next one we're going to talk to as well, which we haven't talked to yet, but the one we did talk to and your own family, and he gestured towards Gabby, have made it clear that she was the primary aggressor. Now, I don't know who dropped the ball here, whether it's dispatch, whether the cop didn't follow up with getting that other witness on the phone, but clearly, had he done that and talked to that second witness who witnessed Brian hitting Gabby, we might have had a whole other outcome. And the thing is, the Moab police, they're going to investigate how this investigation was handled. And they released a statement today that said, at this time, the city of Moab is unaware of any breach in police department policy during this incident. However, the city will conduct a formal investigation and based on the results, will take any next steps that may be appropriate. The police department will identify an unaffiliated law enforcement agency to conduct the formal investigation on our behalf. We look forward to the investigation. Should the investigation identify areas for improvement, we will take that information to heart, learn from it, and make changes if needed to ensure we are providing the best response and service to our community. So with that, and kind of with everything we've learned about Brian's personality over the last week and a half, my big question is this. If he slaps at her and hits her and screams at her in public, what did he do at home and what have his parents seen? And clearly they haven't done anything to raise any alarms. I just don't think these things are confined to the first time that you see them in public. There's much worse going on at home. I mean, these parents are questionable at best. They have not cooperated. They've done the exact opposite of what responsible parents, in my opinion, would do. So that's kind of where we are today. I just wanted to hop on real quick and update this because so much has happened and I'm not going to be around till tomorrow evening. So we just wanted to tell you guys what was up. All right. Next time I'll have Fruit Loop on the other half and we will do our normal thing. You guys have a good evening.
This episode is brought to you by ExxonMobil. The world needs ways to reduce carbon emissions. ExxonMobil is working on solutions in its own operations, like carbon capture and clean energy from hydrogen, that could also help in other industries, like manufacturing, commercial transportation, and power generation too, helping deliver heavy industry with low emissions. Find out more at ExxonMobil.com.
My brother-in-law died suddenly, and now my sister and her kids have to sell their home. That's why I told my husband we could not put off getting life insurance any longer. An agent offered us a 10-year, $500,000 policy for nearly $50 a month. Then we called SelectQuote. SelectQuote found us identical coverage for only $19 a month, a savings of $369 a year.
Whether you need a $500,000 policy or a $5 million policy, SelectQuote could save you more than 50% on term life insurance.
For your free quote, go to SelectQuote.com. SelectQuote.com. That's SelectQuote.com.
SelectQuote. We shop. You save. Full details on example policies at SelectQuote.com/commercials.